Good afternoon. This is Media Center, Ukraine, Odesa. We continue our work today. Our next briefing is dedicated to business relocation to the west of Ukraine, in particular Ivano-Frankivsk, the support for IDPs, and the creation of Ivano-Frankivsk business community. Our speakers are Vitaly Fedoriv, Deputy Mayor of Ivano-Frankivsk, and Ruslana Parobetska, Coordinator of the Safe Business Now initiative. And we will start with Ruslana. Could you tell us, please, how business relocation has affected the business community in Ivano-Frankivsk? Good afternoon, everyone. And first, I would like to share details about our project. The Safe Business Now initiative started at the Innovation Center of Ivano-Frankivsk as the response to the full-scale invasion. And during the first day of the full-scale invasion, we received a lot of calls from businessmen who needed support and relocation to be able to continue their businesses. And first, everything was rather chaotic, but then we developed the initiative to respond to all crisis requirements of our entrepreneurs. SMEs from the damaged communities asked us to help with relocation, and during the first year, we received more than 365 requirements about relocation, networking, and the investment possibilities. We provided information about local businesses trying to create as many possibilities as possible for cooperation and synergy. Around 50 companies have been already relocated. 12 of them were physically placed in our premises. Many returned back, but still many relocated companies are still here in Ivano-Frankivsk. Over the last year, we organized around 40 events for local and relocated businesses for them to start cooperation. Our guests, our relocated businessmen learned more about local possibilities, creating additional possibilities for cooperation. Now I would like to give floor to Deputy Mayor of Ivano-Frankivsk, Vitaly Fedoriv. Could you tell us about the support provided by Ivano-Frankivsk to IDPs, and how would you assess business relocation to your city? Has it changed a lot the situation in your city? Good afternoon. Dear organizers, thank you very much for the invitation. As for the first question, I can say that in our region, according to the official data, more than 41,000 IDPs have been registered so far. We quickly respond back in 2022, establishing the authorized or responsible department. We established a coordination center for IDPs. And we accumulated various resources like food products, clothes. We organized different platforms for mental support, as well as for legal support. And all these services are provided by one center. It is still operative, and there is now the requirement from the government to organize councils to work with IDPs, and this is our task for now. As for our support, of course, we have such issue as accommodation and housing. We cannot quickly solve the issue because the construction needs time, and we cannot spend our budget for that now, and it is not envisaged by our budget. And as for our international partners, they are reluctant to support us with the construction from the scratch. Because of course, we're thankful to the armed forces of Ukraine, but we are still in a relative safety. And unfortunately, these months we've seen shelling, and the debris of a missile killed a small boy, unfortunately. As for business relocation, we received a lot of applications, because Ivano-Frankivsk, the city and the region, is the place where it is still possible to preserve business. We received more than 150 applications, and only 79 businesses were relocated, covering engineering, IT area, etc. As for the how it has affected our life, it is too early to say something, because most relocated companies are still registered in their cities, so we do not feel significant support for a local budget, but 346 persons who have officially received IDP status have been officially employed at the relocated companies, as well as facility companies. We have more than 1,100 jobs, but IDPs are reluctant to be employed at that places. Thank you. Perhaps they have some reasons not to be employed with the jobs that are offered. Yes, there are some reasons like low salary, because now we can offer from 8,000 to 12,000 hryvnias. And it is also the issue of children, because most IDPs are usually single mothers with their children. Ruslana, are you still with us? Let's come back to the business relocation. You mentioned that more than 100 businesses were relocated, but then they returned back. But they're the businesses that are from the occupied territories that now have nowhere to return. But can you share with us the details about the nature of activities of the relocated businesses who are now there in Ivano-Frankivsk? As it has already been mentioned, there are a lot of manufacturers, those who manufacture cosmetics, IT companies, polyethylene products, the dentist clinic. So these are examples of SMEs, but still we'll have an example of the large factory producing colored metals. So the areas are completely different, and we cannot see some general pattern. And I would also like to remind that relocated businesses united to become part the whole business community from Ivano-Frankivsk. First, we created some chats for general communication, and starting with a small number of enterprises, for them to discuss where they could change tires or how to better register their company. So this means that people tried to support each other, but now our community unites 600 people, covering both local and relocated businessmen, right? Yes. Are there enterprises who have changed the business atmosphere in Ivano-Frankivsk? Because on the occupied territories, there could be a lot of large businesses, from the occupied part of the Zaporizhzhia Oblast, Luhansk, Donetsk Oblast. Can you share some success stories of such enterprises? It is difficult for me to answer the question about how they have affected the atmosphere in our city, but I can share information about those cases who have relocated directly to our premises, to our ecosystem. These are such cases as the Toronto TV, which is an independent media that just recorded their materials from Ivano-Frankivsk, and the whole team was relocated here. And the Promprylad Foundation, Povernись Живым, and also the company manufacturing leather clothes, which are favored by Madonna herself. So this has diversified our business community and scaled up to activities here with new companies. Vitaly, the question about IDP support. Recently, there have been a survey which has been presented in our media center. And the first question was about housing, and IDPs say that this is a big problem for them. What are the ways to solve such problems? Perhaps this could be some subsidies or some modular cities for IDPs. We have one in our region. How could this issue be solved? And this is a very difficult question, and this is an uneasy question, and I would like to be honest with you. There are needs of IDPs. Most IDPs believe that everything should be provided to them, including housing. And I think that the main task of local authorities now is to find ways for these people to earn money for their well-being, because many of our local citizens from our region, they have been working hard for many years in Slovakia, in Poland, and you know that about labor migration. Before the war, people to get housing need to earn money first. That's why local authorities should think about how to provide jobs to people, not to provide subsidies for IDPs, but to provide subsidies to those companies who are ready to employ IDPs. Perhaps we could cover some taxes, but this in any way will increase improve the situation with IDPs. This could improve their solvency. So I'm not trying to say that the central authorities should do more, but I believe that we need to update our legislation, because local authorities in our region and in other regions cannot just meet all the housing needs. It is just impossible for us. We cooperate with such organizations as NEFCAR and other European partners, but many such projects are long-term projects, so people should wait for 3-5 years to get housing, but they need to live somewhere now. So in many cases, this is targeted support. We understand that our main priority now is to support our armed forces, but it is easier for the state as general to find means to support IDPs with housing here. They have more possibilities than local authorities. Ruslana, those people, not just businesses, but just civilians who have moved to the city of Ivano-Frankivsk, to the Ivano-Frankivsk region, and is it how successful the employment of such people, including at relocated businesses? I can talk only about my personal experience and my personal communication with relocated businesses. I know that in most cases there are success stories, and Kharkiv business, of course, is more open to people from Kharkiv. And we have sub-communities around representatives of different cities, for example, from Kharkiv or from Mariupol. And I think that such relocation is rather successful. Thank you. And the last question about your plans, that would be great if you and Vitaly could answer the question. How are you planning to develop the mentioned business community in the future? Do you think that there are still businesses that will be relocated, expanding your business community? This is the question to you, Ruslana. And the question to Vitaly, what are the plans of local authorities and about the measures that you've mentioned, namely the creating conditions for employment of IDPs? Ruslana, you will be the first, and then we can give floor to Vitaly to conclude. And as for the dynamics of the requests, it has been decreasing since summer last year, and we do not expect some significant wave of IDPs that is used to be during the first month of the full-scale invasion. Our initiative, Safe Business, now has been changed, so we do not deal with the emergency situation, and it is more about support now. So we have focused on our target audience of businessmen, and we continue to work with our community to organize as many possibilities as possible for them when it comes to training, investment, grant applications. Every week, we organize different types of events to provide more information to our community and also to teach them new skills. The latest cooperation is with the Berkeley University from California. We have already agreed to have the business course to cover general pool of participants to start their own business. So it is not Safe Business Now initiative, but Support Business Now initiative, and we also continue cooperating with local and relocated businesses for their sustainable activities in our region and in other regions of Ukraine. Thank you, Vitaly. You see, as I've mentioned at the very beginning, we had more requests for relocation comparing to the actual relocation. What people wanted, they wanted to have specific conditions for business activities: land, communications, and also the specific level of capacity for energy supply. So those businesses whose needs were not met here moved to other Ukrainian regions or even to Poland, where their needs were met. And we need to create industrial parks. This is also the government initiative now, and it is supported even during the martial law. That's why Ivano-Frankivsk territorial community has been looking for venues. We have 3 of them now to create conditions for more powerful business development, like factories, production facilities. And here we should look for large enterprises being able to create at least 3,000 jobs. And such industrial park could change a lot for the relocated businesses, and the involvement of such businesses could have a positive impact on our Ivano-Frankivsk territorial community when it comes to budget revenue and also when it comes to employment of people. So now we need to find opportunities for IDPs to be able to earn money. So we need, this is a key task, to create conditions for them to be able to earn money. We have a small question from a journalist to you or to Ruslana. The question is about relocated business from Odesa or the south of Ukraine. Do you have any information about such companies? Ruslana, Vitaly? We could not disclose all information because of the martial law. We don't have representatives from Odesa. We have from the city of Kiev, Kiev Oblast. What about Kherson or Mykolaiv? We have, yes, businesses from Kherson, from Zaporizhzhia, from Mykolaiv, Chernihiv, Luhansk regions. We don't have representatives of Odesa when it comes to the Ivano-Frankivsk territorial community. Do you have information about who have relocated from Mykolaiv? This is also the south of Ukraine. Perhaps this information could be interesting for our journalists. At the moment, we don't have such information. We cannot disclose such information. Thank you, but at least we know that you have some companies from Mykolaiv. Thank you for participating in our briefing. Have a nice day, and hopefully we will be able to invite you once again. Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you. This briefing was dedicated to IDP support and the business relocation to Ivano-Frankivsk from the occupied territories or from endangered territories, because they were shelled by the Russian Federation. Our next briefing will be at 2:30, and it will be dedicated to the statement of Katarina Nazhevnikova, a volunteer and the head of Mosta Corporation NGO, about proper usage of budget funds to support the armed forces of Ukraine. So stay tuned.